This is nice. How come we've never done this before?
I don't know.
We've been doing this for a year and a half. This is the first time.
Hey, man, you're the one that has the wall.
Well, I didn't know. I meant flipping the...
Oh, you mean using that to see what?
So I can see what we're doing here?
Because I just set it up perfect every time.
I know. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bald Guys with Guns. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Rob.
And today is our last lesson.
Our last Learn Long Range with Us video.
Yes. I think eventually I'd like to redo this as we continue to shoot and learn more. Maybe touch on some of these topics and deep dive again. But today is the last time it's 700 yards before we transition into a new series.
Yep. We're going to go from learning long range to competing. We're going to do our evens challenge from here on out once a month.
Yes, I'm excited for that. So be ready to start watching for that one. First one's going to be released June 6th.
Yep, June 6th. That sounds like the first Friday.
First Friday in June will be our first evens challenge. But let's focus on that later. Today we are going to be shooting one of my favorite rounds, but not my favorite-ish rifle of your collection.
The Ruger Precision in 6.5 Creedmoor has been an interesting one when you compare it to my 308 model, because it just doesn't seem to like to group the same.
No.
It still is sub MOA.
Right.
But it's not half MOA.
Right. It just doesn't give me the, oh yeah, like your Gen 2 and your RPR and 308, you know. So regardless to say, with each episode, we do tend to fixate on a topic to try and just help bring to attention certain aspects in the long range that you need to at least be mindful of. And today's topic, I'll let Rob kind of take head on this one, is
Windage.
Woo!
Yeah, we're going to talk about learning to read the wind. This, to me, is the hardest part of shooting long range.
Yeah.
And it boils down to one thing. So if you don't want to watch the rest of this explanation, practice. Just like everything else in life, you will only get good at reading wind if you practice a lot. And I think this is the one that requires the most practice out of anything else that we've talked about.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been doing this now for almost about a year.
Yeah.
And I still would say on my windage reading, I'm at about a half of a point out of 10.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could give myself a full.
It's just because there's so much that comes into play.
We've only been really trying for 8 months, but of those 8 months, we only get out to try like once a month.
Right.
So
you're thinking we've really done it 8 times. So by any means, we're not the experts, but we're just going to tell you what we've observed, what we've read, and items to keep in mind when you do it.
Yeah. There's a few things that you can do to read wind. Let's start with the items that don't require purchasing anything, right? You have what you feel, and you can guesstimate, what direction it's going and how fast. So your skin, what you feel, is tool number 1. Your eyeballs would be tool number 2, and using what's around you, trees, brush, weeds, whatever you have out there that could tell you which way the wind is going and how fast.
Right.
But even then, it's still guesswork until you've done it enough to know what the speeds look like.
Yep.
Right? So, and the other one that you can use, which is more prevalent if you're looking through a spotting scope or the scope on your rifle, is Mirage.
Yep.
Mirage is probably one that I like to use, but also hate to use, because Mirage can also obscure what you're shooting at, so you have a harder time aiming at that thing.
Yes.
But it is usually fairly easy to see and which direction and how fast it's moving. But even then, until you're expert at it and have practiced a lot, it's hard to know exactly what those numbers are.
Right. And then sometimes, as we experienced in this one, hint, we've already shot, so we know the results. But the Mirage killed us in this one.
The Mirage
oh
was...
my gosh.
even down the scope, I had a really hard time making sure I was aimed at the target where I wanted to be because of the mirage.
Yep.
I think what happened, we got out there pretty early, and as the day warmed up, the cold ground heated up, and the mirage just went nuts.
Yep.
And we were shooting, I think if we maybe waited a few hours, which we didn't have that kind of time, but if we'd waited a few hours for everything to even out, it would have dissipated. But we basically were shooting at the worst possible mirage time.
Yes. And on top of that, as it starts to heat up, the gun heats up too.
Yep.
The suppressor heated up, which also caused some of those heat waves, that mirage, to come off of the suppressor.
Yeah.
I mean, there were times where I'd have to shoot and then wait at least 20-30 seconds before I could even see the target again because it was so bad.
Yeah, one time during Jeremy's shooting, you'll see I actually had to cut some film because he waited like 5 minutes for the mirage. And I wasn't going to make you guys sit there and wait 5 minutes with him. So those are the tools that you can use without having to purchase things. Then there's wind meters, right? And there's a lot of different kinds out there. One of the most popular that we've seen is the Kestrel.
Yep.
They don't just give you like wind in miles per hour, but they'll give you like barometric pressure and they'll give you a lot of data. But the main purpose of them is wind, because they have this little spinny wheel in them that catches the wind and tells you how fast it's going.
Yep.
So you can, get the direction and how fast it's going from these. But the problem with those is that they're where you are and not necessarily downrange.
Which is where you almost need it more.
Which is, but the problem is that between, the further you go out, the worse it is, right?
Yeah.
The further distance you go out, the wind could be somewhere doing something at 500 yards, and then when you get out to 1,000, it's doing something different.
Yeah.
And it changes, like the wind could be going this way and this way, depending on how far, and so the bullet will move a little bit this way, and then back this way, and you got to figure all that out. It's tough, and so you might need more than one wind meter, but then the problem lies, how do you get the information from the one that's downrange back to you, right? So,
My favorite method is old Kentucky windage.
Yeah.
I shoot, I measure in my scope, I make the best judgment call that I can, see if the shot, when I go to shoot, if that shot feels as similar as the first shot, you know. I mean, where we shoot, as you guys can see, there's very little grass that you can see waving.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to say, oh, that's 5 versus 15 miles an hour of wind, it's too difficult for me. We need to do the ribbons. That's the other thing that we could tie down.
Yeah. You can get ribbons and tie them out there to get a judgment.
Yep.
When I have been out shooting with somebody that's had a Kestrel or some kind of wind meter, I actually like it for just an initial guesstimate of what's going to happen, because at least you have an idea at that point, right? And then I think the most beneficial thing to help you with windage is having a second person there as your spotter with a spotting scope, because they can help you watch where your splash is and tell you how to correct for windage.
Right.
And at that point, you just do what you're told, make the adjustments, and it works.
Yep.
Unless the wind changes, but then the spotter's still there to help you with that too.
Yes, they are.
So I think having a buddy is probably my favorite tool for windage.
Wow,
Sorry.
I'm winded.
That was lengthy.
So, how about let's get to what we're all here for, which is to shoot guns.
So if you didn't see the 308 video of us shooting 700 yards, that'll be linked up here. But we're going to go out to the range now, or we're going to transport you out to the range and have us shoot our 700 yards with a 6.5. And we're going to just do 5-shot groups and try to group it all on paper and see how that goes.
Yep, see if we can get that sub MOA.
Let's transition to the range. All right.
You just hit the 0 stop on it?
I did.
Okay.
Should be good. I'm going to go bottom dot.
Low left.
Low left, I see that. See if that's a cold bore. Nope.
Touching.
Not cold bore, that's what it's doing.
A little higher.
Okay, we got an average of 27.19. Are you ready?
First shot at 700 yards for his 5-shot group. Shooter ready?
I'm ready. Here we
Send
go.
it. Top left, bullseye.
All right, let's hope they all go right there.
I don't even want to tell you.
Huh?
I said I don't even want to tell you.
Did it not go in the same place?
No.
Did it miss?
No.
Okay, well,
It's
whatever.
on paper.
Dude, this is so much harder than...
I want to say it's touching your first shot.
Okay, that second one could have been me because it was... Dude, something was just not feeling right on that second one. The Mirage is crazy.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you where you're hitting?
No, I'm just going.
Okay. Well, all 5 are on paper.
Well, that's good.
Your elevation spread, probably 4 inches.
Best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
The Mirage is stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's all right. I don't know what's worse, wind or mirage.
For precision shooting, maybe Mirage. Both. Everything. I honestly, it's just so Mirage I can't see.
Can you tell by dust?
It looked like it was behind the target, so you either hit the target or went over top. I honestly, it's just so Mirage I can't see.
Can you tell by dust?
Behind the target again. The dust is where it should be. Yeah, man. Oh, you're hitting the top right. I think there's like 2 or 3 bullet holes over there. It's like coming in sort of now. So you're on target at least. Oh, I see that one too. It's a right side middle line. So if all of them hit the paper, it looked like you were right, like within 5 inches on the right side.
Okay.
All right, so again, Jeremy gets all 5 on paper and sub MOA. It's about a 6x4. So sub MOA, not as good as the 308.
No, that 308.
But I actually think that you and I both could have done better. So mine, 3 shots hit the paper.
Right.
Hey everyone. So You may have heard a lie on screen just there, and we continued to lie on accident. Both of us forgot whose target was whose, because we had to film this after we went and shot. And it turns out that I actually had the better target than Jeremy, as you guys previously saw on screen. But I'm going to put the targets up on screen for you and talk about the results. Okay, so to correct the lies, my group actually was a little bit tighter than Jeremy's, but only because his last shot really opened up his group. He would have had a great vertical group other than his last shot. But all things considered, if you look at each square on each of these targets, each square is 1 inch. And so if you guys count off, you'll see that I printed a slightly smaller group than Jeremy. And that's literally only because of his very last shot that's on the bottom line there in the center. That's it for this video. Hope you guys all enjoyed that, and we are really excited to bring you guys the Evens Challenge that is coming up on the 6th of June.
Yes. Get ready. And we will be inviting you guys to come and shoot it. If you like this challenge, we will be wanting some volunteers to come and shoot it. Let us know your thoughts on it. You know, if you find it challenging. So far, everyone we've talked to seems to think it's fun. It's challenging, and it brings us back for more, you know?
We're going to create a Google form for people to fill out. If you are willing to get yourself out to Utah, or if you live in Utah and you want to come out, bring your rifle, show us what you're worth, we'll contact you.
Yes. And showcase your rifle, showcase your skills, and just maybe get you and a buddy and come out and let's run a challenge together. And then you got bragging rights for decades because it's going to be filmed.
There you go. Cemented in history.
That's right.
Well, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the video.
Yes.
Especially if you liked it. If you didn't like it, we're sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. That's how the videos are.
It is what it is.
Always remember
that only the most beautiful
scalps
are bald. We'll see you next time.